In mid-March, Tottenham announced that John McDermott, their head of academy coaching and development, was leaving the club to join the Football Association. After 15 years in North London, McDermott will move to St George's Park in June, becoming an assistant to incumbent technical director Les Reed. For Spurs, it not only sees the departure of a long-tenured employee, but someone who has been fundamental to their footballing identity over the past decade and a half, and key to their success. McDermott began his coaching career at Leeds United before becoming Watford's first football in the community officer in 1992. He then graduated to be the Hertfordshire club's head of academy. In 2005, he arrived at Tottenham after a prior spell as national coach with the FA. And at the point of his departure, McDermott was in overall charge of every Tottenham side below the first team, a responsibility he'd had since 2016. Tough, disciplined and demanding, McDermott is also known for his pastoral care and encouraging his young players to develop as people. In a recent article by The Athletic's Charlie Eccleshare, former coach Chris Ramsey remembered an environment which was focused on the individual rather than the team, and in which patience was an absolute non-negotiable. In the same article, Ferdinand, who coached within Spurs Academy between 2008 and 2014, also recalled academy game plans being slanted in favour of individual players, with the aim of highlighting particular strengths and furthering careers, if not with Spurs, then with another professional club as high up the pyramid as possible. We might say to Harry Kane, Ferdinand remembered, "I don't want you to close the centre-backs down, let them pump the ball so we can show them that this centre-back can head the ball and defend properly." Such focus, in conjunction with the new training ground which opened in 2012, has delivered a significant dividend. England captain Kane is, of course, the Academy's most famous product, while Harry Winks is an established Premier League midfielder and centre-half Japet Tanganga has recently broken into Jose Mourinho's first team. Oliver Skipp has also recently started to benefit from more consistent game time, and much is expected of forward Troy Parrott, who made his Premier League debut and, at 18, is already a Republic of Ireland international. But the club have also made a significant profit on McDermott's work, graduating and selling England internationals Andros Townsend, Stephen Corker, Ryan Mason and Jake Livermore, while also receiving significant fees for, among others, Alex Pritchard, Tom Carroll and Nabil Bentaleb. Between them, the sale of those 7 players raised roughly £75 million, providing a tangible endorsement of McDermott's work, but also vital resources with which to strengthen the first team and, of course, a useful way of remaining FFP compliant. McDermott worked alongside 7 different managers during his time at Tottenham, the first being Martin Jol, the last being Jose Mourinho. But it was under Mauricio Pochettino that he really started to gain recognition. He and Pochettino were particularly close, often spending time in each other's offices, exchanging ideas and progress reports, and the collaboration and trust between them was fundamental to opening the pathway to the first team. McDermott was also an important voice in the recruitment of young players and would sometimes take part in Pochettino's first team training sessions. Less a head of department, he was more an active part of everyday life at Hotspur Way. With Pochettino leaving the club in November 2019 though, McDermott is thought to have believed that it was the right time for a change in his career and that ultimately the FA's offer was too good to refuse. His departure from the club won't just leave a technical and logistical void, but a cultural one also, and Tottenham will be hard-pressed to find a successor who offers both the longevity and identity that McDermott has provided, and who can also overcome the challenges the club face in quite the same way. Increasingly, academies, like football as a whole, operate in a world dictated by money, with young players and their families drawn towards the most significant financial inducements. Tottenham, however, are one of several Category 1 academies to employ a wage cap, prohibiting players under the age of 17 from earning in excess of certain amounts. Southampton and Liverpool adopted similar schemes back in 2016, and while healthy and designed to encourage a sporting focus, it does create an obvious disadvantage in recruitment, particularly in a market in which supposedly clubs have been known to offer up to £11,000 a week to academy prospects, as well as other material incentives. McDermott's successor will also have to cope with the various restrictions created by the UK leaving the European Union, which will limit Premier League clubs' ability to recruit and prohibit them from signing foreign players under the age of 18. In addition, the Pochettino-McDermott partnership was a recruiting tool of its own, and the finest advertisement for the club's tendency to promote from within. Without that dynamic, and now with a head coach in Jose Mourinho who is not associated with giving chances to developing players, Tottenham have seen another of their advantages disappear. But these are problems with which Daniel Levy will have to solve with his next appointment. The pipeline between Spurs Academy and their first team was fundamental to their rise under Pochettino, and that partnership will have to be replicated if they are to overcome football's wealth disparities and achieve beyond their means again.